Hey there guys, today we're taking a look at something a little bit different. For the first time in quite a while, we're going to do a set unboxing. What we've got today is the Roco OE scale Christmas train set. OE is roughly what we consider ON30 here in the States, so O gauge, narrow gauge, it runs on HO scale track. Alright, so a little bit of backstory on this, at least best I can piece together. So this tooling for the whole train set, this was formerly from the Fleischmann brand. In fact, the Transformers got the Fleischmann on there. It was under their Magic Train branding. And of course, this is their little narrow gauge segment. The best way I can describe this, if you've done G-scale, think about like the Diet LGB Steins or any of the little 040s, little Koppel or Stein's locomotive. Any of the tiny little German or Austrian narrow gauge was fair game for this series. So I thought it was pretty cool. In this case, I've never had the chance to own an LGB Steins or any of those sets, so I figured, you know what, this will run on HO track, so let's give it a shot. So let's crack the box open and see what all you get. Like I said, this is a very simplistic set. So what you get a very big assembly guide showing you how to fit the track together, how to plug in the power pack, connect the track terminals, and how to drive the set. So very simple. But let's take a look under the hood at what all we get. Alright, so one cool thing out of the gate, when I saw the promo photos for the set, of course it had the decorations on it. That's one thing I'm glad to say is a sticker sheet. So the train comes in kind of a very almost Polar Express colors, the burgundy, blue, white, and gold. Really cool looking set. And if you like narrow gauge, this is a prime repaint candidate if you wanted to get something, LGB like with the green and red or the black and red. So what else in the set? Here's our power pack. A little bit different, just very simple though. So reverse, forward. You can see there's Roco and Fleischmann on there, as I said earlier. So unlike standard train set track here in the States, this is a little bit different. This is called Roco line track with bedding. And you'll notice something, it's rubber. This is, I believe it's code 83 track on a little plastic base and rubber ballast. So this is definitely a first for me for checking out and seeing how this is gonna work. But overall, it looks nice. It's got a nice snow finish. So the only complaint I could really find out of the gate, this is all you get for straight sections. And even most Lionel starter sets now have 4 decently sized sections of track. These guys are tiny. In fact, the rolling stock barely fits on them. So I am probably gonna have to order some more track from Roco or Germany or wherever just to get it to fit around our tree this year, which is a little disappointing, but it is what it is. So you're gonna be able to do 12 curves and 2 little straights, including a terminal track. So that's what they give you to work with out of the box. So ideally, I'd like to see a few more straight sections in there just because that gives you a little more flexibility. Alright, so let's take a look at the rolling stock. This is really cool, honestly. Like I said, I've always liked these little 040s, these tiny Koppel and Stein's locomotives. They've always been a favorite of mine. However, haven't really had the space for G-scale, so this is a very nice compromise. And just so you can see again, by the size of my hand, this is indeed very close to ON30 scale. This is a chunky little guy. But we'll take a look at it real quick. I'll pop it off the track so you can see. When I first saw this locomotive, I initially considered repainting it into a different color scheme, which you can absolutely do, but this is kind of a cool little holiday set, I think. But it's got a very simplified valve gear, the pickups are on the bottom of the frame, there's no traction tires, but this is a tiny little guy. It's not going to be towing an absolute monster of a train behind it. All in all, I really like this design. It's simple, it gets the job done. A lot of the detail parts are molded on, but honestly, that's fine. This is a Christmas train at the end of the day. Next up on deck, we have the passenger wagon. This is a very simplified model again, but it looks really nice. You got the brake handles on each side of the platform. The wheels, they are plastic, but they still get the job done. The couplers, I'll put the car down just so you can see. They do have a little bit of pivot, not a ton, but that is fine for the track radius you'll be going over. All in all, this is a very simplistic but nice little coach. I mean, I don't believe the roof comes off. I'm sure you can find a way if you wanted to add people to the interior, even weather it with some snow effects, just something kind of fun. Because that's, again, the biggest thing. This train's meant for fun. It's not meant to be a rivet counter to light. And as such, we're going to have fun with it. And last but certainly not least, we have the open stake wagon. Now this one's kind of cool because all 4 sides do come off. It's essentially a stake flat car, and by that you can just put a little pressure and pull the sides out. So if you wanted to put something on the flat car, do a little scene, put a tree or present load, that's easy peasy and something you can absolutely do. So you can pull the sides off, run it as a flat car, or put the stakes back on and make it into a gondola. So real quick, while I've got this car up here, how well do they roll? Again, they're plastic wheel sets, which is a-okay honestly. Very smooth and very quiet. Again, you're not going to be going for any long haul records on these cars. It's going to be happy to go around the loop and do its thing, no problem. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to do a quick little speed run section here on assembling the track, putting it all together. What I'm curious about is seeing if it's going to clear our tree base, which is a little bit long as you can see. Normally I don't have a problem with easy track or O gauge, but this is a little different, so we're going to see how the stock loop comes together. So real quick before I go into speedrun mode on this guy, just to show you how to get the track together, it's honestly just like doing the Atlas True Track system or even Easy Track, except really easy to slide together. And I'll flip it over real quick just to show the connections. So you get a two-part locking, you get your rail joiners, and then these plastic grooves come together and link your track up. Alrighty guys, so that's the set together. Now unfortunately I got to do a little bit of troubleshooting and figure out how to fit the set as it sits, because for our tree base it is just a little too tight of track. Now fortunately, one thing I did do, luckily my local hobby shop had an old Roco set with some of this bedline track. So I'm going to put those curves in just to kind of give it a little extra breathing room, but just to give you an idea, here's the finished track. If you've got a larger tree base like we do, it's a little bit of a squeeze to get it in there. So I'm going to revise the track plan real quick and get this guy hooked up and running. So that ended up being the magic trick. All I needed was 4 curves of the smaller radius, just a little bit of an S curve, and it fits around this tree base, no sweat. So once again, that kind of goes back to I wish they'd included a few more straight sections just so you could do either a longer oval or a square, depending on your tree base. But again, this isn't exactly an American market set, so I understand, they're going for a smaller approach here. But just know it if you do want to mess with this set. So what will this set end up running you in the long run? So before shipping, this was $150 stateside. I got mine from Reynolds. They're a European importer from the Midwest. I've dealt with them before, no problems in their buying process, shipped it promptly, and it arrived in good condition. So for $150, then throw in shipping, you're not looking at too bad of an investment here. This is a nice little Christmas train, and again, if you already have HO scale track, you can run it on it. The existing track you get, it's not bad, but I think it needs a few more sections just to kind of fill it out, because this is a nice little circuit, but seeing the train mostly go around curves instead of the straightaways does make filming a little bit tricky. And for most kids and people just watching it go around, I think it would be nice to have some straightaways so the train can just kind of do its thing. But all in all, I think this is a really nice little set. I'm happy with it. It's kind of cool to finally get some funky narrow gauge back in my collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.